Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to do a page in my Life Crafted album using one of the new re-released sets from Kellie Stamps. This is one of my favorites. I've had it for a really long time. It's the coffee loading set. Yeah, you can bet I've had a fair use out of this one and I intend to keep using it. So I'm going to create a repeat pattern with this stamp set to go with my full page photo here. But I also grabbed out some of my pink paisley Fifth of Monaco supplies, just a few bits and pieces. I love this collection. It's so pretty and I really wanted to use a little bit more of it. And actually you'll see I don't use a whole lot of it. I have grabbed out this cut apart sheet. This is from the 12 by 12 paper pad. I do have the single sheets as well, but they've got a pretty pattern on the back. So I'm going to use this one because what I want to do is cut out this little journaling spot here with the wood grain on the bottom so that I've got a place to do some journaling on this spread. The rest of it is going to be pretty just repeat stamps and some pretty colors, so I need a spot so that my journaling can stand out. Now I'm not actually going to use the kind of title that's on this card. It is actually a 3x4 card, so I'm going to use the rest of that cut apart sheet to do a Project Life spread, I think. But what I want to do is use the kind of banner end on the other end of this journaling card. So I did trim down the corners so that they've just got one solid outline around it. I've left the sort of sentiment on there for now because I will trim that off later on once I've done the actual journaling on the card. So once I pulled out that cut apart sheet, I decided I wasn't going to use any of the other pattern papers because I know I want to create a pattern with the stamp set. I do want to add some color in here though, and as you can see, a little bit of glitz. So I have pulled out a couple of the washi tapes. Now this one here is a beautiful gold foil washi, and I've added one strip down the side of my photo. The photo is going to go on the left side of this spread, so I just want to be able to kind of join the two pages together visually somehow, and I'm going to do that with the washi tape. Now this sort of chevron patterned stripe with all the colors in the collection is one of my favorites. There is a pattern paper that is very similar to what I'm recreating here with the washi tape, but the washi tape has some gold foiling in it as well. So that's just a little bit sort of different than the pattern paper, hence my use of the washi tape. So I've added two strips of that. I did turn the paper for the second one so that I get that kind of chevron stripe, and then I added another strip of the gold. Now the rest of this page I am going to do my repeat stamping on, and you might be wondering, why didn't you just add the washi tape on top of the stamped pattern? Because the washi tape is transparent, that chevron stripe has some sort of clear pieces in it, you would have been able to see the pattern underneath. So I needed to add the washi tape first so that I knew where to stop my pattern. Now to stop stamping on top of the washi tape, I'm trying desperately, you'll see, to use my post-it tape here. It does not stick to the washi tape. It's all right, there's a solution for that. At the moment I just wanted to prep for my repeat stamping and then I'll fix that kind of masking. Now this is a technique I've used a lot in the past and I don't feel like I did a whole lot of in 2020, so I'm bringing back the repeat stamped pattern. What I did was pull off all the stamps from the stamp set that I want to use, and then I'm using this little grid lined block to arrange the stamps. This can take a little bit of time, so I have kind of sped it up. What I'm attempting to do is to create a solid block of stamps so that I can repeat stamp it. I want all of my stamps to kind of line up around the four edges. So like I said, it takes a little bit of finessing just to get everything kind of lined up. And the reason I'm trying to make them into kind of a solid shape, that sort of square with all the edges lined up, is just because it's going to make the repeat pattern so much easier to stamp. Now I want to stamp this in a pink, and I'm just going to test out a couple of pink inks on some scrap paper first. My initial thought was that this ink was a little bit too light, and it definitely looks lighter on screen here than it did in real life too. But the second lighter ink that I had, I that was like a little bit too dark. You can see it when it's going to be next to this kind of busy chevron and it's going to have this journal card over top of it. In the end, I decided to go with the lighter one just so that it wasn't going to be conflicting with everything else quite as much as that darker pink. Now I have got my scrap paper here on my desk. It's a little bit hard to see because it's white on white on white. What I'm going to do is lay down my page on top of that scrap paper and then add my post-it tape on top, and that goes over the edges on 3 sides. So it's basically capturing that cardstock onto my scrap paper. It's not going to move around, and it's going to give me that mask on top of the washi tape so that I can do my repeat pattern. Now I am a little bit careful to make sure that I am stamping everything nice and firmly. I don't want to have too many kind of missed stamps on this repeat pattern, but you'll see it does not take me many stamps at all to be able to fill up this entire page. So I've started a little bit up from the bottom and a little bit onto my mask. I think when you're masking off a stamped portion like this, it is really important to kind of have half stamps over that line so that visually you can see that it is a mask. So that's where I've started, and I'm filling in everything from there. So I'm stamping across in rows, and then as I move up and down, I am just slightly moving the block of stamps over a little bit so that the same stamps aren't being stamped on top of each other. It gives it a little bit more of that kind of pattern paper look rather than lines of stamping, and that's what I was trying to create with this page. I mean, sometimes I do lines of stamping, you've seen that too, but in this one I kind of wanted to create that more random looking pattern, and that's how you do it, just by offsetting that blocked stamp a little bit, which is why it was so important for it to be a pretty solid block of stamps in the first place. So there you go, that's it. 2, 4, 6, 7, I think 7 stamps and my page is done. I've got my pattern there. I can peel off that post-it tape, and that's basically the right side of this spread all done. All I need to do here is go and add my journaling onto my little journaling spot. Now I did do this by sort of adding some temporary adhesive onto a scrap paper so that I could run that through my typewriter. And now I know where my typing is, I can go ahead and strip off the sentiment that I don't need, because I have actually rotated this card. It's not going to be vertical, it's going to be horizontal on the page. So even if I wanted to use that sentiment, it wasn't really going to make sense where it was. I did my journaling in pink on my typewriter. I use a typecast magenta ribbon for that. And then I'm going to add one more little stamp underneath my journaling. It says, "Not a morning person." I'm going to stamp that in black. There's a lot of black in my photo, so the black ties in really nicely. And then all I've got left to do is stick this journaling spot down. Now I'm going to do a little bit of kind of embellishment on this page just with that 6x12 sticker sheet from the collection. And before I went ahead and stuck this down, I probably should have thought a little bit more about where those sort of stickers might go, because what I end up deciding to do is use a few of these kind of little banner and tiny word stickers, and really the only appropriate place to put it on my photo is the top left corner, which means that having that journaling spot on the top of the right hand side, it just looks really unbalanced. So what I'm going to do is carefully peel that up. Luckily the adhesive hadn't stuck down too strongly. I could really gently peel that off and it didn't rip my background paper. I really did not want to have to repeat all of that stamps, especially because I pulled them all off my block when I stamped that sentiment onto the journaling card. So I'm adding a few different colors. I want to bring out a little bit more of that pink, and I also want to add a couple of these gold stickers. You can see there the gold is so bright and so shiny and so lovely. I added one gold one on the left, and I'm going to add one gold one on the right, and I added a little tiny word sticker underneath it, but it didn't really stick out enough. I wanted a little bit more color down here, so I'm going to peel those up and replace it with one that says "Today." It's not the same kind of pink, it's more a peachy color, and it is a banner. It's got a banner end on both sides. So I'm going to trim that off onto the right hand side of the page. I decided not to add the little white word. I'm just going to go with the gold one. And then all I've got left to do is to punch my pages. I'm just going to put them both together. I'm lucky enough to have a 6-hole punch, so it makes it really quick. And that's my spread all ready to go into my album, my first page of 2020. Now don't forget to check out the description box below. I do have a discount code for the Kellie Stamps store if you want to head over and pick up this set for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye!